got it by accident, but no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. No. Okay, so has anyone got any questions? I'm sure you must be burning with questions that we can attempt to lie about or completely get wrong. Okay, Ron, you had your hand up, sir. Go on.
I did check under my bed drawer. I have his old episodes of Z-Cars.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Fair dues. Were you reading any of those, Frazer?
Z-Cars, yeah, we call it Z-Cars. Very, very early episode, and it was live television as well. Yeah, you must have been, when you were an actor, you must have been in the Z-Cars, sure.
I wasn't in my room.
Oh, you wrote them?
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Did you write an episode called The Whistles? About stolen suits?
No.
Oh, because Whistles
There was
was
an episode called Granny the Swings, by the Welsh lady, around the swings of kids involved in life. Anyway, that was also while I was just about joined Doctor Who.
You were a leading man, you were a heartthrob leading actor before you became a producer, weren't you? A dashing young leading man.
I don't know about heartthrob, but I was certainly a juvenile lead.
Yeah. When you've seen the photographs, Derrick, you were gorgeous.
Yeah, flashy ones, yeah. They were heavily touched up.
So
well, enough about that.
You're listening to rumours.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How many Doctor Who
Oh, how many Doctor Steve?
Used to 100 and some, I
How many Doctor Who missing episodes are there? 97? 97. 97 missing episodes. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. How many episodes are there of Doctor Who? 800 something or other, or
So
something.
we're talking, we're only talking about 10%.
Yeah.
Which is not too bad considering.
I think it was more by episodes found now than are still missing.
Wow.
At one point it was like 90% were missing and 10%, I think it's coming around.
Fantastic. Yes, sir.
What do you know about the episode that disappeared the day after it aired?
The episode that disappeared?
The day after it aired.
The day after?
Talking about Feast of Stephen.
Feast of Stephen. I don't think it disappeared the day after it was aired. I think, as far as I understand and my ancient memory can pick up, the Feast of Stephen, for those that don't know, was episode 7 of the Dalek Master Plan story. And Dalek Master Plan was a 12-episode story, which actually aired over 1965, 1966. God, look at this, my brain is incredible. And I've got no notes. Look, I'm doing this without a safety net. Without a safety net. And the Feast of Stephen was the very first episode to ever be aired on Christmas Day. And what the production team decided was that everyone would be too full up with Christmas pudding and cake to really pay much attention to a plot. So they created it as basically a runaround, and it was all set in Hollywood studios and film sets, and it was just a big runaround and stuff like that. So what then happened was that when they came to decide on episodes for selling abroad, they thought, well, there's no point selling that episode, nothing happens in it. It just goes, like, you might as well just miss it out, you don't lose anything from the story. So effectively, they never sold it abroad. And because they never sold it abroad, there were never any copies made. Therefore, there are no copies out there to be found. So it wasn't destroyed the day after, it wasn't destroyed per se, it was destroyed when it was eventually wiped, the same as all of the rest of them were wiped. But it was just that it had never been sold abroad, anywhere, because it was specifically made for Christmas Day. And so they thought, well, there's no point in selling it, because it was a Christmas episode. Yeah, anything more, John? Because obviously you're not...
No, not really. That's a pretty good summary of it.
Yeah.
And you have to remember also, as we keep saying, the BBC never thought these shows would ever air in England again.
No.
They just thought it was just taking up room.
Yeah.
You know,
In the good old days when I was an actor, many years ago, there was no recording. You did it live on a Sunday and again on a Wednesday. The same damn thing you repeated in the middle of the room. So when editing and recording came along, this was a big thing as digital recording is now. It was a big leap forward, but the big leap forward fell apart when they could actually sell stuff abroad. So it really didn't occur to them to save it, because they never saved it because we always repeated it.
I mean, they always recorded Doctor Who, they never did Doctor Who live. It was never done live. So it was always recorded. As I said, it was just that episode was never sold anywhere because they just thought there was no value to it. So
I'm talking a long time ago.
you're talking a long time ago.
Oh, yes.
Before even Fraser's memory started.
Oh,
Yes, before, long before.
Long before Fraser's memory started. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
Weren't there 2 documentaries done about lost stories? One for Hartnell and one for Trouton?
Yeah, they got missing.
Yeah.
They got missing.
I think there's been quite a few documentaries done on the subject. Yeah, there's also, if I can pimp Telos's own ways, Telos Publishing has got a very good book out called Wiped, which basically contains the entire story of everything from the point of this was what was wiped, in what order, on what days and when, this was then how it happened, this is when they were recovered, this is where they were found, this is where they were sold, this is why they were there, this is how they were found. It's an incredible book. So if you're really interested in the subject, then Telos's book by Richard Molesworth, Wiped, is the one to get. And that's still available from Telos. So, yeah. Any more questions? Yes,
In the early days, they showed all the episodes on PBS in this area. So have they seen all the missing episodes? When did they go missing?
No. Well, they were right before that. No.
You mean PBS in New York State?
Yes, this area.
Do you?
No.
He's asking, have all the missing episodes been shown in America on PBS?
You saw what they had.
No.
No, PBS didn't actually start buying Doctor Who until the end of the Tom Baker era, when they were offered a package of 96 Tom Baker episodes, specifically 96 Tom Baker episodes, which ran a robot through, I think, Invasion of Time.
Yeah, the last episode.
Sorry?
The last episode, now those are the Time Life ones.
Yes.
Yes.
And
They were the very first ones to be sold to America. Before those episodes, nothing was sold to America. No Hartnells, no Troutons, not even any Pertwees at that point. It was only later that the Pertwees were added to the package, and then finally it was expanded. But it was always expanded forward, not backwards, once the Pertwees were there. None of the Hartnells or the Troutons were ever added to the package at the original time. So none of the missing episodes could ever show up in America.
So the only ones that have been shown on PBS have been subsequently when you've gone back and picked up the ones that now exist.
Yeah, basically those were released on DVD, yes.
Yeah.
But no, none of the earlier shows were ever shown in America.
They had a thing in the early 80s where on Channel 21 they said we're going to show every Doctor Who episode in order.
That they had.
I think what they meant was they would show every existing episode rather than every episode, because they simply didn't have them.
So they were missing
Have them all on
even back then.
VHS.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, yeah. They were missing from the mid-70s.
Mid-70s, they were all wiped. The wiping was stopped around the mid-70s.
They might not have known
And
they
the
didn't have
first package deal to America wasn't until the mid-80s.
Yeah.
Well, actually no, it was the late 70s was the time
79, 81.
Yeah, right. But then the main package came in the late 80s.
Channel 21. Channel 21 just wanted to use it. But
Thank you.
that is
It depends what you mean by here, because PBS has got different regions and different all sorts of things. It's very complicated. Let's not go there, hey? Yes, sir.
Mr. Hines, sir, I know it really, really bothers me not that people see all those episodes. I watch all the reconstructions, and I'm grateful to have those and all that. But how do you feel? Does it really bug you? How do you feel about it? That you miss it?
Well, it's only over the last few years. I mean, when normally an actor do a job, it's gone, and then, like a theatre play, it's gone. And it's only when people say, "Oh, you know, your episodes could be shown, it could be found," that I'm showing an interest. But because up until then, I just thought it's a job, you've done it, and you didn't realise it was being recorded. But I mean, I do think it'd be lovely if they found more stories. But at the time, when we did them, we just thought, that's the story, we've done it. Now, on to the next episode, on to the next story. You weren't thinking, oh, in 40 years' time, there'll be TV.